A massive thank you to Aaron, Harry, Cloudy, G-Rab and Midnight for subscribing to the channel. If you're already featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 5 of our F1 22 My Team career mode. Yes, of course, if you missed out on the 2 videos that went live yesterday from this series where we went to both Albert Park and then of course our first sprint weekend of the year from Imola, would definitely recommend going back and checking those 2 videos out. We'll be back today with another double upload, and today we head to the all-new Miami Grand Prix circuit. Now, of course, I've done a little bit of driving around this track back when we did some preview videos a couple of months ago, so I kind of know where I'm going around Miami. But of course, if you're new around here as well and you aren't already, please do make sure you get yourself subscribed as well for daily Formula 1 content. You know, trying to hit 100k by the end of the year, but of course trying to hit 60k very, very soon as well. I see how we get one step closer, it would be massively appreciated then. But having a look at the Drivers' World Championship, a big twist last time round in Imola. Charles Leclerc dominated the opening 3 races of the year, but Ferrari just showed a few signs of issues there as he retired from the lead in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix there. The gap at the top's been cut down to just 21 points over Max Verstappen there, who's just 2 clear of Carlos Sainz there, with Perez and both Mercs following up close behind there. We, however, got our first point of the year. Yes, we're on the board now, ahead comfortably of Williams. It's a shame Aston Martin keeps seemingly picking up a few small points here and there. Still only P18 in the championship, but, you know, fingers crossed now we've sort of got that first point on the board. Hopefully it will continue over the next few race weekends there. In terms of other things, though, gonna have to put our second gearbox in the car this weekend. Luckily, no penalty for that. And we've got 1,000 R&D points that we need to try and spend on an upgrade as well there. I'm not too sure for a department capacity. I know we definitely are on the aero and chassis, so we might have to try and go with a powertrain upgrade there. So spark plugs it is. They should be ready for next time out at the Spanish Grand Prix. But I think we have got a couple of other bits that are in the works at the moment, so fingers crossed they'll all go on the car. There we go, durability upgrade on. And there we go. Looks like we've had a chassis upgrade as well. So yeah, slowly sort of picking up more and more upgrades on the car then. There we go. Sorry, it was an aero upgrade that has gone on. And now we can go with the beam wing as well there. That'll be ready again after the Spanish Grand Prix. So you can still see making good progress early on in the campaign. They can see everyone, though, very, very aggressively trying to apply upgrades in the early rounds of the year. So we've got to try and keep up with the development race here on F1 22. But I think we've got another Pirelli Hotlap before we jump into this weekend. There is one more upgrade. No, unfortunately not. The monocoque there not going on, so we'll have to restart that one. That was a bit of a shame because that was a big upgrade for this weekend, and we haven't even got enough R&D points to get it sorted there. So we'll have to do that one behind the scenes. But we've got an autocross or a time attack. Let's go to an autocross event here from the Miami Grand Prix. Right, well, here we are then for a Miami autocross event in the all-new McLaren Artura. I've probably butchered the name there. Again, $100,000 if we get the gold medal here. We need a 1 minute 18 time to try and navigate our way through this one. And let's see. Ooh, that sounds a bit sporty. 5 red lights though, and it is going to be lights out. And away we go. So I'm guessing the goal in this one is just to try and get through. Yeah, so it is like a proper autocross event. Then no idea how sort of strict it's going to be with, of course, clipping points there. As just, we don't want to lose control. No, we got a cone hit. That's a bit frustrating. That is going to ruin this first one there. It's all going pear-shaped. I think we'll try that again. It's all going wrong. out of the final corner then. Can we just try and keep our footing up towards the start-finish line here? We've still got plenty of time. We've just got to take it nice and easy through this chicane. There we go. Luckily, of course, you can see a little bit further ahead with all of the blue bars. But there we go then, up towards the line. We're going to smash the gold star this time by about 3 seconds there. We'll have that, thank you very much. And let's therefore get into the Miami GP weekend. Always nice to start it strong with a gold medal. Well, it's been a little while since I was last at the Miami Grand Prix circuit, but must admit, I do find this track rather fun to try and drive around. I think it works quite well with the ground effect there, especially, you know, sort of through this first sector. The little section towards the back end of the lap can be a little bit more of a pain than I'd like, but that's the way Formula 1 sometimes wants to take these things. Of course, learned our lesson after yesterday's race in Imola, that we definitely don't want to run too much aero on this game either. There is really just trying to chuck the car over the curbs, but at the moment a long way off the delta in the first sector, as we'll try and use... Oh no, we haven't even got any battery, of course, that we can use because we're on a fuel saving run. We might just have to go for the green score in this program, but again, we've got to try and actually get down to the delta. Well, definitely kind of forgot what this track was like on my first run there. You can see we also made a big mistake down the end of the back straight. I think this one's only going to be good enough for the green, but it is a much better time than my first run there. Green score, we'll take it. Right, onto our tyre wear program then. At least this time around we're actually going to be able to use some battery down the straights, as that was where I was losing most of my delta on the fuel saving run. Or apparently we're going to just chuck the entire wing off. We might have to try this again. Well, second time's a charm then, as we head down the huge back straightaway here from the Miami circuit. Of course, you can see the Hard Rock Stadium off on the left-hand side there. Again, yeah, when you can use the battery, you just find so much time. Oh, that's a nice lock-up towards the end of the lap. If I get nice run out the final corner. See if we can just scrape into that purple. It looks like we will. It's a purple score, but only just. Going into my racing program, and then it's really just these corners that I'm struggling to get the car hooked up through there. That was probably the best line I'd done, but very sketchy through the second part there. Love trying to hook up that corner, though. But again, really struggling with the wheel spin off the exit there. The team wants to aim for 32.5s, but we have got to try and look after the battery as well. You know, it's a weirdly high-speed circuit, this one. You wouldn't think it, but there's a lot of big straights, and of course, to match that, a lot of very slow corners, especially this sector of the lap. It's really, yeah, this final corner as well I'm struggling with. Try and put the power down on the exit. I just have no confidence in comparison to what the game thinks I should be able to do. And that's, of course, costing us back down towards the start-finish line to start the next lap. Oh, almost locked at the front there, but somehow we willed the car to the apex still. Which just through these few corners here. I'm trying to run lower aero so we don't lose much down the straight. I really just feel like through these few corners, kind of trying to drag the car around there. That curve is lethal on the inside. Oh, you try and put the power down on the exit. You're going to have to use a bit of battery just to keep yourself safely in the green. But yeah, very difficult to try and find the balance around here. I think we could be in for another interesting afternoon. Every race has been something very different so far. I'm loving it on F1 22. The only other problem we've got is more and more engine components are getting a bit worn out. MGUH up to 60%, so that's a little bit wide there. Luckily, the car will bite once more. Ooh, steady on. But yeah, we are definitely struggling a bit with durability early on this season. I mean, we're going to have to take penalties. You always have to take penalties during the first season of a career mode there, but now we've got no battery either. This final lap is going to be difficult. Yeah, might have to take a new MGUH this weekend there as we wallop the curb, trying to head through the final couple of corners. This final lap is going to be very close as we head up to the line, but it is still going to be the purple score there. More R&D on the board. It's what we need to be doing early on in this campaign. But like I said, we're going to have to slap in a new MGUH ready for qualifying. I mean, we're starting close to the rear of the field anyway each week, so it's not going to make a world of difference. And I might also put a new turbocharger in, just because that's getting a bit warm. Let's get into qualifying, though, here from Miami. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Well, there we go then. New MGU-H and turbocharger in the car. Of course, won't take any grid penalties this early on in the season. But yeah, Season 1, I'm really not going to worry about it all too much there. What I am worried about is, can we try and make it into Q2 once again? They've made it a regular habit so far this year, but not 100% confident Miami is going to be a circuit that suits us. We'll have to wait and see, though, as we head down into... I mean, that's a lot of curb through turn 1. Just kind of turned in and prayed it was the right line. It definitely wasn't that time around there, as out of the first couple of corners. Must admit, really enjoying this track. You know, when you get it hooked up, you know, it's quite a high-speed little roller coaster of a venue there. Let's try and get the car over that curb. And then, yeah, this corner as well, I absolutely love. You know, very reminiscent of Malaysia from just a few years ago there. You know, just kind of hoping the front end bites in. We actually got a warning for track limits that time around. And then as you navigate your way around what is, well, one of the longest sections of straight on the circuit. A good opportunity to get late on the brakes as you're aiming for about the 100-meter board just prior to it, about 110 in this car. And then it just skim them all through the next couple of corners there. Got to be super careful of that. And then just through this horrible little street circuit section there. Let's try and get the car back over to the right to tip it in for the left-hander. Really try and focus on getting a nice run off the exit of the corner there. Activate the DRS as the track opens up. Plenty of movement for overtaking down this back straight there. As Verstappen fastest on a 28 flat. Red Bull really need to get their championship back on track here, as breaking down in towards the final couple of corners. It's not been a brilliant opening lap here from Miami. It's not been too bad either. So we head up towards start-finish line there. Attack the curb, shortest run to the flag. 30.5 there. Slower than Albon, but quicker than Vettel and Schumi. So I guess roughly where we'd expect to be. We're in the ballpark. Well, currently sat down in P19. Drugovich has done a worldly of a lap to go practically a second quicker than me. So maybe this lap wasn't as competitive as I thought. A little bit worried, though, about Lando Norris just in front of me as we head through the final couple of turns. Longest ridest run back to the line this time round. Gives you the biggest chance to build up momentum, and also gives you the shortest run back down towards turn 1 there. Not going to brake too early this time round through the first corner, but then really attack the curbs through turn 2 and turn 3 there. 2/10 up immediately as we head out of the first few corners, and that's what we need to do. We need to build up confidence on this second lap here. Going to try and save a set of tyres in case we make it through into Q2. And get the car third gear there. Pray you can clip the apex right at the last moment, and then use that curb on the exit there. Half a second up already. The first half of this lap has been much cleaner than our previous one there. Sebastian Vettel leapfrogs his way up the order. And now as we head down again, going to try and spot our braking point. The second half of the lap, for the most part, was pretty tidy. But, you know, there's always a little bit more time on the table. Let's avoid that wall that time round. Back end really wants to break free there. Of course, you just got no grip through the lower speed stuff. Oh, I said during free practice you're desperately trying to hang on through those few corners there, and just got a bit too optimistic as we were chasing the time. I think we're about 7/10 up, and there was definitely a couple more in the last bit of the lap there. So we could have been down on about a 29.5 when all is said and done there. Quicker than Sebastian Vettel. I'm not sure it would have seen us into Q2, but that is a heartbreaking mistake to make right at the end of the qualifying. That's our first proper big sort of qualifying, you know, final run mistake we've made this year. But we are going to be starting right towards the rear then for the Miami Grand Prix. I don't think it's quite going to be a last a question mark challenge, as I just wanted to check to see where the pit lane entry line was. But yeah, not the qualifying we wanted here for round 5 of the year. Well, there we go then, having a look at our final qualifying results then, and we were... Oh, it was Albon that was slowest there, didn't even set a time. So we could have been right around the benchmark for Q2 there. So Not going to beat myself up too much about that mistake there. I mean, it was a bad error to make right towards the end of Q1. But Drugovich seemingly on the pace with the likes of Zhou Guanyu and Mick Schumacher there. The AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda not far away as well. There is still a good chance to try and pick up a decent result here today. You know, if we get a well-timed safety car, anything can happen. But yeah, let's get into it then. Round 5 of the year for the Miami Grand Prix. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
Welcome to the Magic City. We're here at the Miami International Autodrome, the home of the Hard Rock Stadium, a multi-purpose sports and entertainment hub which has hosted Super Bowls, Baseball World Series, numerous rock concerts, and now, for the first time, Formula 1. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 3.36 miles of track around the Hard Rock Stadium, and 19 corners make up the Miami International Autodrome, which will challenge the drivers in a tight wheel-to-wheel race. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, and a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Magnussen, Bottas, Mick Schumacher, Fernando Alonso, and Lando Norris, Gasly, Tsunoda, Daniel Ricciardo, and Stroll, Russell, Joe, Sebastian Vettel, and Esteban Ocon, Latifi, Mr. Monaco, Albon, and with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Now, I want to talk to you about Carlos Sainz. That was a great win in the last race, but can they keep that momentum going into this weekend?
There are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out would have boosted their confidence coming into this one.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
Right, well here we are then on the grid, ready for round 5 of the year here from the Miami GP. Starting from P20 after a couple of penalties for our teammate Felipe Drugovich. George Russell as well starting out of order. 29 laps ahead of us though here today, and I've really got no idea as to what to expect from this afternoon. If it's anything like the real race, we could expect a little bit of carnage in this one, but we'll have to wait and see then. Waiting though, obviously, I was about to say on those 5 red lights, every time I forget we've got a formation lap in this series. I've got Latifi and Ocon just in front of me. I reckon for the first time this series, we might make progress off the start. Saying that, Drugovich behind is on a set of softs. We're trying to get some heat into the rubber then as we head out through the final couple of corners. Very fun to do it on F1 2022 here, but can we try... Oh, I've PK'd it again! I'm going to do that at least once every day, it feels like at the moment. I did the same thing at Albert Park, but maybe getting a little bit over-exuberant on F1 22 there. We're going to try and aim the car towards the inside. I mean, we've just driven through our teammate Drugovich. We'll take a green this time round. Let's try and get a good start then. Here for the Miami Grand Prix. 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out and away we go. As apparently everyone thought Lance Stroll wasn't going to go anywhere there. And that's allowed me, for the first time this year, to try and get a good start there. Deep on the brakes. Down towards someone. Someone's going to clatter into me. In towards the first corner. We learnt last time around. The AI are brutal on this game there. Let's look at that P16 then straight off the start, and Drugovich practically following me through there. Up into 18th place for our teammates, so both of us gaining 4 spots off the start as we head through this middle sector there. Esteban Ocon, clearly not a fan of that. Trying to maybe look for a move back up the inside, as we're just going to sit back a little bit through these next couple of corners there. So we've got to try and get heat and temperature into the tyres early on in this race. Let's look at that immediately. Esteban Ocon on the offensive there. He's got an equal Renault E-Tech power unit in that thing, but so much more top-end speed out of Esteban Ocon there. Drugovich now as well, going to have a look up the inside. You know what? Our teammate, both of them sending it on George Russell down the end of the back straight with her. I thought that was absolutely going to be a monstrous shunt, but somehow we all make it through then. Drugovich, I mean, he's trying to have a look up the inside through the fast chicane there. I must admit, I completely cut that chicane, but I did not want contact with our teammate at the start of the race there. Safe to say we have survived the start then, and only making up the 3 spots when all is said and done. But of course, got to try and get into a rhythm nice and quickly here, as Drugovich now going to get swamped as we head down the back straight. But yeah, got to try and hang close to the cars in front as well there. Charles Leclerc leads the way at the end of lap 1, as he has done, I think, at the end of every lap 1 this season, with the exception of Bahrain. Obviously, both Ferraris got close to Max Verstappen very, very late on in the race there, but when you exclude the engine failure at Imola, it's been a very dominant season from Charles so far. Yeah, I think we really have potentially got to consider trying to focus on a lot more power unit upgrades in the early stages of the campaign here, or at least make them a priority, because, yeah, we're just losing so much down the straights to everyone still. Feel like we're able to hang on quite nicely through the corners, but certainly don't feel like we've got a huge advantage through the twisty bits, as DRS now enabled. Trying to make sure we stay within the 1 second of Esteban Ocon, and that's going to be very difficult, especially if I get a line like that through the first couple of turns. That's not going to help me. I've got next to no battery either, and now Drugovich on the offensive again. Don't really want to battle my teammate too much today. If he gets past, I'll try and use him to get a bit closer to the cars in front. And here comes Felipe Drugovich and Sebastian Vettel then. We'll let our teammate down around the outside. Oh, Drugovich? You can't just turn in, mate. What is it with the AI in this game? They are incredibly aggressive, which we've never really had before on the Cody's F1 games. There you go. There's proof I can actually take that chicane somewhat well, because so far this weekend it has not been my strong point as we graze the wall on the exit. But now, surely Drugovich this time round is going to be able to fly past me, as may have had a slightly itchy leg there. But here comes Drugovich once more. Our teammate gaining as we head down the back straight. He's going to send it to the inside. We're going to give him the room. Come on, Drugovich, just get on with it, mate. Try and put the power down out of the final couple of turns. Don't want to lose Sebastian Vettel by as well, as now I'm going to have some DRS on our teammate there. But here comes Seb up the inside into Loadcell 1, and he's going to get 2 for the price of 1 there. Sebastian Vettel getting the elbows out. We're just getting shuffled backwards. Try and get back around the outside of Sebastian. This is a good little battle with our newly formed rival in this championship. But Seb squeezes by, and I've got to hope they can both drag me along a bit, because battling down in P19, not quite where I want to be. Oh, here we go. Seb and Drugovich side by side through this middle sector, and Seb's just going to slam the door there, so he does move past both of us in the space of a lap here. But are we going to be able to stay close through the next couple of corners? I actually feel like I'm pretty strong through that very, very tight technical part of the lap. But then again, of course, we've just got nothing when we get out onto the back straightaway there. But I mean, Ocon is way up the road there. It's looking now, Zhou Guanyu. That Alfa Romeo is rapid down the straights. We've just got nothing still. I know I keep saying it in this series, and I do apologise, but it's absolutely true, and a very, very big issue early on in the campaign there. And it's not even like I want to run much less aero, because we saw what happens when I do that in qualifying. As now, Nicholas Latifi trying to have a look to the inside. We're just sinking positions at the moment. As Latifi locks up down in turn 1 there and slams the door. And we've basically been shuffled now right to the rear of the field. We've got to refocus, regroup, and try to gain those spots back. What worries me early on in this Grand Prix is the fact Latifi hasn't even stuck within DRS range of Zhou Guanyu. So I think he just took an optimistic lunge on me, and now we're all paying the price for it. I say all of us, I mean myself, Latifi and Albon. I do not want to be stuck battling Williams all day today. Someone's had issues early on, not too sure what's going on there. But now Albon still all over my gearbox. So we head back down towards turn 1. We got to make moves. We have to get back past Nicholas. So just see through this S section. This is probably my strongest corner on the lap there. So we'll slide back up the inside of the Canadian. But again, it's all for very little. Because he's just going to be able to fly back past me down the straight. Look at how quick that Williams is. And he hasn't even got the DRS yet there. I mean, we're going to go to the inside, try and defend from him. But Latifi's just going to be able to romp back around the outside there. Down the next straightaway. And I mean, Albon's not going to be far away by the time we get to the braking zone. So we really are just stuck in a rut early on there as Drogovic is getting cycled backwards as well. We might have had a couple of strong weekends recently, but this might just be one where Williams are the only team we can really battle. As that's not a fun sound going through my wheel, but it is what it's designed for. I mean, look at this. Alex Albon now around the outside. It's like we're stood still. Albon just clean around the outside there. Down the back straight. I mean, Drogovic and Zhou Guanyu are still juking it out up the road. So we get very, very lucky to hang on there. Are they both into the pits? No, it's just Felipe into the pits then.
In the pit lane. Felipe in the pits.
And Daniel Ricciardo there. So back into P20 of the Grand Prix. As now Zhou Guanyu's been cycled back down the order. So Williams have got another poor victim who's going to get stuck behind him, perhaps. I mean, at the moment, I'm kind of just sat back studying the way the AI handle the lap here at Miami, trying to work out, I mean, where we can try to gain place. You're not going to gain any places by doing that. But yeah, really just feel like we're fast in all the wrong places around this circuit. I mean, how? How am I meant to match that? Down the back straightaway there. Zhou Guanyu, I mean, we didn't get the best run off the corner, but he literally just takes off like a rocket ship. I mean, it is complete GP2 engine. Now I'm really understanding how Button and Alonso felt in 2015. But yeah, I mean, we're quick round through the twisty bits. It's just down the straights, we got nothing at all. I mean, at the moment, all I'm really doing in this race is watching everyone in front of us get stuck behind Latifi, and also just trying to save battery.
0.6 seconds.
Drogovic is taking a little bit of time out of us. Daniel Ricciardo's probably going to close up when I pit. I think we're probably going to box in the end of next lap. But yeah, you can't even really save battery around here. I mean, I genuinely haven't used overtake now in about 4 laps, and we're still only up to about half a charge. There's just not that many big braking zones around this venue. And of course, through all these little corners where you're sort of dancing on and off the throttle, you just save no energy at all. Obviously, again, trying to not use any off the exit of the corner there. We've now got yellow flags. That's Nicholas Latifi going slowly there, so hallelujah, we're going to be able to get past him. But 5 races, 5 Mercedes power unit failures. So I think it's only Aston Martin now out of the Mercedes power unit camp hasn't had a failure. What is going on to those Mercedes power units? I'm kind of happy I didn't pick them. They jinxed me throughout the entirety of our final F1 2021 season. So yeah, good riddance, I say. Q 3 months down the line, when we're in like season 4 of this series, and I make the mistake of going back to Merc Power, as that's the first time I've used battery all day. Well, in about the last 5 laps today, like I said. I think we're going to box the end of next lap though, as here we go. Zhou Guanyu now all over the back of Albon as we head down the straight. Could we actually see some battling going on? Power down. That final couple of turns is really, really difficult to get it hooked up there. And Zhou Guanyu, he's been given a lifeline by one of them just falling out on the wayside. But is he going to be able to get past Albon there? They're still side by side as we head down towards Stelman there. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. Zhou Guanyu's going to try and squeeze Albon out, but neither of them willing to back out at the moment. They're all a bit out of shape, and we've just got the best seat in the house for this ding-dong. So we head through in towards Sector 2. I mean, look at this. They're still side by side. How on earth are the AI managing this? Now Albon has to back out. Zhou Guanyu will inherit the position. But surely, if we continue to ride on board, Albon's just going to get back to him down the next straightaway here. Let's just wait and see then. As, yeah, we are definitely going to box the end of this lap. Go on, Albon. Try and get back past China's first full-time Formula 1 driver here. He's having a look for it, and that Zhou Guanyu's aware of it. Oh, he tries to make it to the outside. Is he going to get the room? Oh, again, a bit more contact there. I mean, look at this. They're side by side once more through the middle sector. Poor Daniel Ricciardo is now caught up on this gaggle of back markers as who is going to come out on top. I mean, this is incredible. They've been side by side now for most of a lap. I really should be trying to capitalise here, but I'm just watching in awe There's a little bit of contact there with Albon as we try and put the power down out onto the back straight. Now I'm going to melt through a load of battery. As Daniel Ricciardo surely going to try and make a move work on myself there. You know what, we'll save the battery. Daniel Ricciardo, go for it there. Is he going to make it 3 wide down at the end of the back straight? No, he's just going to lift out. Watch them continue still side by side between Zhou Guanyu and Alex Albon there. Zhou Guanyu stays out another lap. Albon gets all out of shape on the way into the pit lane. And are we now going to try and maybe look to try and jump Albon in the pit lane here? It's going to be a tall order, but if I nail the pit stop, it's certainly possible here. Fingers crossed we don't get any issues with the wheel guns. There we go, optimal turn-in. Come on, team, don't mess me around. 2.5 seconds, have we done it? Yes, we have, ahead of Albon, cleanly. This time around there is now we've got to try and work out the way out of the pit lane. Let's stay about there. Make sure we stay over the white line, which we have done, but cold rubber is going to tiptoe around this lap, I feel. Let's now try and get the gap out over Albon, though, in this race. I don't want to get stuck behind him again. So here comes Albon then once more with the DRS. I mean, we can't do anything. We just can't do anything against the Williams here. As up the inside he's going to go. Going to try and cut in towards the... Oh! Albon, big lock up there. We make a tiny bit of contact, but we get away with it. As we will therefore quite happily have the position back from Alex Albon here. And the Thai driver, again, going to try and come back at me there. As Zhou Guanyu exiting out the pit lane as well. I mean, this could be a 3-way scrap through the first couple of turns there. We go uber aggressive on trying to get back past Albon there. Can we make it work around the outside of Zhou Guanyu as well? Of course, he's got cold rubber. It has to be now to make the overtake work here as we head down the next little straightaway. Zhou Guanyu tries to turn in there, tries to put me in the wall, but we make it work. Fingers crossed we'll be quick through these next couple of corners as well there, as he's still got to try and get heat into the rubber. But Zhou Guanyu, very aggressive. Luckily, we get outside the DRS range. Now we have to run away. I feel we could be in for a very lonely rest of the afternoon here. Gap to Drugovich just opening up slightly. But yeah, I don't really think we're ever going to get a chance to close at Sebastian Vettel. I think the only thing that can make this a little bit more interesting is if we got a safety car that might open up some sort of strategy. But at least now our lap time is a nice, clean and tidy 1:33 exactly. See if we can beat that. There we go, Ricciardo and Drugovich back into the pit lane then at the end of 17. The 2-stop was definitely not the way to go in this Grand Prix today. I mean, Ricciardo should come out clear ahead of me, but Drugovich, yeah, he might be able to get close by the end. Could have a bit of a teammate battle late on in the afternoon. As, yeah, Drugovich is going to come out about 5 seconds behind. Don't hit that curb. I'm now learning, don't hit that curb on F1 22, but weirdly... That's a little bit of a Miami special bug there. Code is please fix. Yeah, likes to tell you the teammates back into the pits again on their way on the exit there. But Ricciardo only 2 seconds ahead. I mean, if the gap was under a second, I might think we could try and get dragged along to the DRS. But fingers crossed here, Drugovich can recover past Albon and Guanyu Zhou, so he doesn't end up last. What's worrying me a bit now as we head towards the final third then here from Miami is the fact Zhou Guanyu and Alex Albon are really starting to close back down this gap. It's under 2 seconds again, and it was about 3 after they continue to battle behind me. We've got to really try and stay strong in the final few laps here. It's not the battle I want to be having in Miami, but that's the way F1 goes sometimes, you know, especially in 2022. We've found some cars some weekends are rapid, you know, right at the top of the midfield, and then the next weekend they're nowhere again. Seems to be the case for us. Not quite the top of the midfield, but certainly a good solid point scorer. And then other weekends we're right back to square one, it feels like. Got to keep the upgrades going, that's the key. Right, start lap 23, then 7 to go here from Miami, and now Zhou Guanyu is nestled back inside the DRS. So I think we're going to have a difficult final few laps here. Oh, if we want to keep the young Chinese driver at bay. Big snap oversteer on the exit of the first couple of turns there as we try to put the power down. Again though, we're quick through the rest of this first sector, so we should hopefully give ourselves a bit of a margin. But we've seen all day long how just how... Oh, don't look at that line. That was maybe a bit too committed there, but we've seen, like I was trying to say, all day long just how quick the AI are. Top end speed there, so we're going to have to use a bit of battery strategically here and there. And fingers crossed try to keep him at bay. As you can just see now, he's gaining as we head down the back straightaway here. If we can keep him at bay into this middle sector, I'd be very happy. Through the technical sector, Zhou Guanyu has a look, turns in. And we will say no thank you there, and we will hold on to the position. The only other thing I'm getting a bit concerned about, Charles Leclerc's not that far behind either, so maybe we could try and strategically use him. You know, maybe if it ends up we do a lap less, because obviously we're a lap down, means we've got 1 lap less to defend. As again, by the time we get out onto the back straight, we just build up the gap once more there to over a second. Oh, here comes Zhou Guanyu this time around. He muscles his way to the inside there. Are we going to be able to hook it up right around the outside of him? Yes, we are. Don't think he was expecting that one. Don't think I was expecting that wall to appear. Or where it did as well. But just got to then tip it nice and tidy through these next couple of corners there. This car does ride the curbs pretty well. You can see it then just does give us enough to try and keep him at bay there as we head out onto the back straight, though. This time around, we haven't done as good a job. And Zhou Guanyu, I think we're about to say goodbye to P18 here. We're going to drain a load of battery as we head down the back straightaway there. Force him to the outside. And are we going to be able to hang it on? Oh, Zhou Guanyu, big lock up there. Does pretty much, I think, what he did in real life. As now Albon now, the man in the hot seat, just behind us as we head through the final couple of turns there. We're going to go defensive on the Williams as well there as we head into the braking zone of turn 1. 5 laps to go here from Miami, and we are hanging on by a thread at the moment. Oh, that's what I want to see. Drugovich getting in the mix as well there as Albon and Zhou have just been battling behind once more. Drugovich trying to get himself involved. And now, unfortunately, it looks like they've released Zhou Guanyu back into my grasp again. So 4 laps to go here from Miami. We are all under pursuit from Charles Leclerc. Don't worry, I'm keeping track of that as well. There's a lot going on later in the day. I said the final few laps here might be pretty calm, but apparently not. Like I said, though, not exactly where I want to be battling, but I'd rather take a battle than 10 laps of boredom to the end of a Grand Prix there. It's through the chicane we go, really just chucking the car over the curbs now. Not too worried if you pick up a little bit of floor damage in the dying stages here of the Miami Grand Prix. But just making sure we keep Zhou Guanyu at an arm's length still. No, I've just realised we're actually under on fuel at the moment. I forgot, obviously. I don't think I underfueled the car, but it's certainly not as economical as the ones we had on F1 2021 there. So we now really need Charles Leclerc to lap us later on in the day. So that means then we'll have enough fuel to see us through to the checkered flag there. Effectively now then, with a bit of luck, just over 1 lap to go of the Miami Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc only about 4 or 5 seconds behind. He's about 3 seconds a lap quicker anyway. But now we're going to have to really play strategically here. Zhou Guanyu, we've got to keep him at bay again. We're going to have to use the battery and go defensive down the back straightaway here. He's going to move to the outside. We're going to sit on the apex there. Try and make sure we just squeeze him out through the corner. And I think the Chinese driver expecting that one once again here. As I mean, yeah, now I'm hoping this will be the last lap of the race. But Charles Leclerc still a good 4 seconds back actually. So he's got to try and get past some other cars as well. There goes Zhou Guanyu once more. Down in turn 1. If we continue to battle him, that might not be such a bad thing here. Through this first sector we go, just trying to park on the apex, sit in front of the Alfa Romeo there as through the next couple of turns we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, he's not willing to back out there. Up the inside he goes. We have to go on the escape road. We're still side by side through the next corner there. Definitely didn't want to crash this late on in the afternoon, as there is Charles Leclerc. He's now right at the back of this train there. Drugovich and Albon both are getting blue flags here, as we've got to try and keep him at bay there. But he's going to get the DRS down the back straight. We're going to force him the long way around there, but I think Zhou Guanyu's got it. Straight around the outside he goes when we get down towards the end of the straightaway here. Are we going to be able to do anything with DRS in the final sector of the lap? Oh, that was, I think, a bit extreme there. We kind of did a touring car bump and run on Zhou Guanyu. So you know what? We're going to go really strategic. Charles Leclerc, you have it, mate. And then I am going to hope that Zhou Guanyu is going to let Charles Leclerc by down the back straightaway here. Trying to put the power down there. No, it's not worked. Drugovich, he's going to get up the inside of me as we head down the back straightaway. We're going to have to tuck into the slipstream of our teammate. And this might have gone really, really pear-shaped, because here comes Albon as well. We might have just butchered this in the final corner of the Grand Prix there. We're 3 wide. There's plenty of contact between Albon, Drugovich and myself. But somehow we get mugged off right at the final corner there. And we come through in last.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
That's a fantastic fantastic performance from Ferrari, it hardly looked in doubt. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Charles Leclerc, currently leading the championship standings, extends his lead even further with this result. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
There's a few contenders, but George Russell definitely stood out, I think. A really solid drive from him today, and one I'm sure the fans enjoyed.
Let's move on to the constructors. Ferrari continue to extend the gap at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Miami Grand Prix there. And Charles Leclerc back to winning ways. 5 race victories in a row to kickstart this 2022 season for Ferrari. They're 6, of course, if you include the sprint race at Imola last time around there. And yet another one too as well, with Carlos Sainz finishing runner-up there. Lewis Hamilton ahead of Kevin Magnussen. And look at Mick Schumacher between the Red Bulls at the checkered flag there. It must have been a drag race between him and Perez. Just 38 thousandths of a second between those two when they crossed the line there. Russell, a fantastic recovery up to 8th ahead of Bottas and Lando Norris there. And then you can see the rest of your finishes. And I tried to be too clever right at the end of the day there, and it cost me. For the first time this season, we finished in last place there, P21. Of course, only Latifi not making it through to the checkered flag. But yeah, just lacked pace this weekend. You know, like I said, we're going to get races like that over the course of this season. But, you know, we've got to keep the upgrades piling on as best as possible there. Thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. If you have enjoyed though, please do make sure to leave a like and get yourself subscribed. And we will be back very, very soon. I think round 6 of the year. Are we back in Spain, or have I forgot one race? Wherever we are, I'll see you guys very, very soon. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.